In this video, we're going to go over the sources of honor in the island and what are the best ways for you to get 40,000 honor before the first war. So stick around and find out the best strategies. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, join our Discord, and also follow us on Instagram so you always have the support that you need to really enhance your account and get yourself to the next level. Also, if you stick around until the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can save a lot of money when you make in-game purchases by getting some amazing cashbacks each time you purchase anything. Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. Now I know I said this is going to be on the website and it will. I've honestly drafted out the whole thing and I've tried to make it as user-friendly for mobile users as possible. The only reason it's not on the website yet is because we haven't really done blogs on the website yet. And when I release a blog, I want it to be like really good, right? I want to make sure that the design is as perfect as can be, especially focusing on user friendliness for the mobile users, and we just haven't hashed out that design yet. That's the only reason we don't have the page yet on the website. But I don't want to hold that information for you as we go through the different Figma designs, and I really wanted to get this video out before the island ended because certain things are better seen in the game itself. So that's why this is not going to be going over to our website. However, I personally think that the website is going to be much easier for you to follow along after you've seen this video. Keep an eye out for the website, right? We're going to share it on our Discord the moment this honor page as well as the season egg and the season fruit store pages go live. I'll put an ad all on our Discord so you know when these pages are coming up. And obviously once we've hashed out the design, other pages might shortly follow as well. So honor, it is one of the most important resources in the island, and it is very important especially in the beginning of the island because more honor means more healing fungi. And healing fungi is what determines how much fungi you can use in battle. That is obviously very important, especially in the first few wars. You want to have as much healing fungi as possible. But the biggest thing is that there's a huge jump in the accumulation speed and accumulation limit of healing fungi from 0 to 20,000 and then 20,000 to 40,000. So the moment you go from 19,999 honor to 20,000 honor, you double your accumulation speed and accumulation limit. That means you double the amount you're getting every single hour and you double how much you can actually store, which means that you can store more for the first war. Going from 39,999 to 40,000 is another major jump. That's a 56% jump in your fungi speed and your fungi storage. Another large jump, so that's another one you don't want to miss. After that, the jumps are fairly small, not huge, so you don't really have to worry that much after 40,000, but until 40,000 you have to care about that a lot, because if you go to the first war and most of your alliance has 20,000 honor or less and the enemies have 40,000 and more, it's almost like you're fighting double the enemy numbers because they're not going to run out of fungi. You probably will. So it's a very important resource. It's one that you should prioritize the most in the beginning of the island. Now, given that, it's like a 56% increase in speed and storage and, 19,000 to 20,000 is like a double. If you had full fungi at 19,999 and then you went to 20,000, it's not going to increase your fungi to be maximum immediately. What that means is you're going to be stuck at 38.4 million fungi, and then over the next 24 hours, you're going to reach the new limit that is 76.8 million. That means that if you are less than 20,000 honor, you want to have 20,000 honor at least 24 hours before the first war. Otherwise, it's going to be like you will have only 19,000 honor anyway because you're not going to have that fungi. You're only going to get it slowly over time. Same with the 39,900 to 40,000. You want to have at least, I'd say, more than half a day before the first war for you to get max fungi before the first war. So these are important milestones and you should be prioritizing them at least a day before the first war starts. Now, another thing about honor that is very interesting is that it's a little bit like a loop. The more honor you have, the more nodes you can get. And the more nodes you can get, the more seasoned soldier ants you get per hour. The more seasoned soldier ants you get per hour, the more honor you get. The more honor you get, the more nodes you get. You get the idea. It's like a loop, right? So the more honor you have in the beginning, the more honor you're going to have later on, because it just works a little bit like a loop, right? So getting honor fast in the beginning is very, very helpful because you are setting yourself up to get even more honor in the future, right? So therefore, think of honor like something you want to prioritize as quickly as possible, right? Don't delay it. It's very important because it works in a loop type fashion. So how do you get this honor that we're talking about? Firstly, the most obvious way of getting honor is from seasoned soldier ants. So SXI, you get 0.01 honor per soldier. Now, the only way to get these SXI ants is through the jungle raider. You just have to log in 3 days in a row and you get 400,000 of these in total. That sums up to 4,000 honor within the first 3 days, which is obviously pretty good, and it's pretty useful because these SXI soldiers can be used in getting high level nodes that your T10 could not get. Now, of course, if you already have T11 enhanced, you're already in a different ballgame. You could probably get high level nodes anyway. This is probably weaker than your T11 enhanced ants anyway as well. So that's one way. The other way is, of course, T12 or SXII. Those ones give you 0.02 honor per seasoned soldier ant, and you can get them through a bunch of different ways. You can get them by invading buildings and by participating in those invasions. You can get them from season achievements like the ones that we saw for SXI, and you can get them from nodes. That's the primary way you're going to get them, by the way, nodes. Remember, you want to try to get as high level nodes as possible because these nodes, they give you honor for occupying the nodes themselves, right? So if you look at this, level 10 node gives you 70, level 13 gives you 160. If you get to level 14 in the beginning of the island, which is probably not going to happen, you can get 200 honor per node. That's a lot of honor. But that's not it, because nodes actually give you additional honor per hour. If you look at this, it gave me honor for occupying the node itself, but it's also giving me 27 SXII seasoned shooter ants per hour. That's 0.54 honor per hour, or almost 13 honor per day, just for one node. 10 nodes, it's almost 130 per day, right? 100 nodes, 1,300 honor per day. So that is a very, very powerful way of getting a lot of honor. Try to get as high level nodes as possible, as fast as possible, because that's going to give you a lot of honor. And the more honor you get, the more nodes you can get. The more nodes you get, the more seasoned soldier ants you can get. I mean, I've been repeating this just like it is a loop itself. I'm also on a loop and repeating this thing. Remember, high level nodes, more honor. You need that honor because it's a loop. What else? Well, as you can imagine, building enhancements gives you a bunch of honor. If I were to enhance my queen from level 19 to level 20, you can see I'm going to get a little bit over 150 honor for this one level. And there are several buildings I can upgrade and I can get the honor from them as well. So that is very helpful because the more of these buildings I enhance, the more honor I get. So in the beginning of the island, I want to be enhancing the buildings that are giving me the most honor per resin, of course. And you must be wondering, what buildings are that? Well, luckily for you, I have a chart for that. And look at this. Well, this is basically how much resin you need to get one honor in any of the different levels in any of the different buildings. So through this, you can actually take a look. Level 1 is pretty green, which means you need to spend the least amount of resin to get an honor. But level 2 is a little bit less green. Then level 3 is a big jump for some reason. I don't know why they actually made level 3 such a poor ratio. Level 4, it gets a little cheaper again. Level 5 is another big jump in cost, right? 13.64 resin per honor for the queen level 5. Yikes. Anyway, as you move down to 6, it gets a little cheaper. 7 gets even more cheaper. And I don't really have an idea what sort of calculations they're doing. It's not linear. It's like jumping up and down for some reason. Then you can see 8, 9. But one thing you'll notice is the lower levels all the way up until at least 11 seem pretty green, right? It's pretty cheap to get them all to level 11. You know, maybe we can push it all the way to 13 if you want, because 13 also gives you some other rewards. But then after 13, it starts getting more and more expensive. And as you keep going down, the cost actually gets worse, right? Like if you look at this, the Pro Rally Center, which honestly is the worst out of all of them, you can see when it comes to honor, Pro Rally Center is pretty bad compared to everything else. But go all the way down, level 24 to level 25 is like 38 resin per honor. That is expensive, right? So this chart is going to be on the website, and it's going to be hopefully better for you to view than this one that you're looking here. I mean, I don't expect you to get any of these numbers through the video, but hey, you know what? Hopefully my designer is going to figure out a way to make this more beautiful and more easy for you to see. But obviously you want to be prioritizing the ones that are better honor for the same amount of resin cost, right? That is the way for you to go. But one thing about this chart that I'm showing you here is that it's per level. And I was just thinking, that doesn't say much, right? You can't just skip level 4 to level 5 and then you go straight to level 6 to level 7, right? You got to go in order. And that's where I created this new one. And this is like the combined one, right? So you can see it's not jumping from level to level. It's considering all the way from level 0 to that specific level, right? So if you're looking at level 7 for Queen, it says 5.51. It's not just considering 6 to 7. It's considering 0 to 7, right? So obviously, as you can imagine, it's going to get worse over time. For example, if you go to the last one, you're bringing in level 24 to level 25 as well in the average. So it's going to ruin the average a little bit. But on the bright side, you can see that it's following a little bit more linear order, right? You don't see level 5 to level 6 being a red and level 6 to level 7 being a very big green. That would make no sense, right? So it's considering everything on average, and it gives you a better picture, right? So what I was talking about earlier, level 11 being a reasonable place for all of them, other than the Pro Rally Center, what's wrong with that? Anyway, most of them seem to be a pretty good deal until level 11 or level 12. You know what? Let's just say level 13, because that's when you also get that achievement. And after that, honestly, you probably want to be leveling everything a little bit more linearly anyway as well, right? Because even the best ones when it comes to Resin to Honor, which are these special ant habitat, mutation flora, and insect habitat, if you go all the way down to level 25, it's 16.57, right? That is still more expensive than even level 20 Queen, right? Or 22 Queen. So leveling everything up a little bit linearly is probably the best way to get as much honor as possible. So perhaps that's a good way for you to strategize, right? Instead of leveling up one of the buildings all the way to 25, which I know a lot of people do, which isn't the smartest when you're talking about honor, but I understand why you do it. It's better for you to linearly level stuff around. Now, you'll see this on the website. It's going to be better looking, hopefully, on the website. So don't worry, you'll have this chart soon. It's going to be on our website, theskylands.com, and then you can refer to it at any given time you want, but these are the general guidelines that we got from that data. The other very interesting thing I want to talk about is the troop tunnel. This one is using a different resin altogether. Hardened enhancement resin. And this stuff you can only get from the season development plan, by the way. Now the thing is, you get a bunch of it for free across the different levels, and you can see you keep getting a little bit of it all the way until 40,000 for the free ones, and even for the paid ones you get the last one at 35,000 points, which means that you can't really get it all the way to level 12 as a free-to-play player before you get 40,000 honor anyway, but you can get to certain levels, which is still helpful because it gives you some honor. Now the difference is that paid people can get this all the way to level 25, and they can get it before they reach 40,000 honor. In fact, if you look at this, the last one comes at 35,000 points, but that's not 35,000 honor in particular. That is 15,000 honor for the people who bought the pack. Why? Because I believe the moment you buy the pack, you get about 20,000 points. It's not showing here because I already have more than 100,000 points, but I think if you don't have that, it gives you 20,000 points the moment you buy the pack. So you can get this all the way to level 25, which is exactly 3,896 honor. That's a big jump in honor, honestly. And you'd see right now, I'm getting about 895. So 895 minus 3,895. Well, it's approximately 3,000 extra honor for anyone who purchased the season development plan. If you want to purchase the season development plan, purchase it in the beginning of the island or early in the island. If you're purchasing it after you already have 40,000 honor, you're missing a really big perk that you get from this, and that is getting the building to level 25 and getting that 3,000 or even more than 3,000 extra honor than the free-to-play players when you actually need it. So if you want to purchase it early island, because it'll help you get to the 40,000 honor point that other free-to-play players are going to be struggling with. Now, one very obvious thing that I guess a lot of you know, if you're in a competitive alliance, you're probably not going to get a lot of high level nodes, right? That is just a struggle. You can't really upgrade your nodes all the way to level 13 in the beginning of the island. You are probably going to have a few level 7 nodes that cannot be upgraded, or level 9 that cannot be upgraded depending on the time you're actually doing this. So some of the things I'm teaching you here might come off as a little obsolete. Like, I can't even use that information because there are no nodes available. I mean, I get I should upgrade them, but how do I do that? Well, here's the thing. This is a strategy that a lot of top alliances use. Our alliance has been using it for a while as well. When there are players who have reached 40,000 honor, and they've already unlocked the higher accumulation speeds and higher accumulation limits of the fungi, and there's still a few days left for war, they can start giving their high-level nodes to others. And you might be thinking, well, then they're going to go to 39,000 honor and they're going to lose their fungi limits. Not true. You can go from 40,000 honor all the way to 0 honor. You're still going to keep the 2.5 million accumulation speed and 120 million accumulation limit, because the fungi, it's sticky. It's talking about the maximum honor you've ever gotten. That's what determines your fungi limits and fungi speed. So once you've gotten to 40,000 honor, just be free of all your high level nodes. Give them to others, and then, you know what, take other nodes, lower level ones. If you're generous enough, you're going to make sure that a lot of your alliance members are going to have 40,000 honor. They're going to hit much harder in the first war compared to the enemies, and you're going to have much better outcomes. So that's why, remember, as a team, you can share your nodes after you get 40,000. Like, if you start sharing when you're at 39,000 honor, that's probably not very smart. Just get yourself 40,000 first and then start sharing. But after 40,000 honor, you can freely share your nodes. You're going to get that honor back. Don't worry. Over time, you will make up for any lost honor that you did because you shared. That's probably never going to be a big concern for you. But getting other friends in your alliance to get 40,000 honor, and even camp allies getting 40,000 honor, is going to take you really far. So use that strategy and your alliance is going to be at the top, because you're going to have a lot of 40,000 players. So that's what I call the 40,000 honor trick, or whatever name you want to give it. Use it. It's very helpful. So that's the honor guide for you guys. There's still a lot more information, but you know what? That's going to be digging into details, and I don't want to do that in a video, but I'll keep some details in the website page the moment it's released. Remember, theskylance.com. If you are on our Discord, I'll do it at all when the 3 pages are ready. So do be on our Discord to check that out. Or, you know what, just ask somebody who is there to let you know when those pages are out, so you can go through the details and you can have the page on at any given point and start looking at the guides and share it with your alliance members as well, because a lot of these things are team play. Honor is a team play, right? You want everyone to have 40,000 honor, not just you, because you cannot win a war by yourself. So share it with your friends, share it with your camp allies, share it with your alliance members, so everyone gets more honor and is best prepared for war. And before you go, I want you to know you can save a lot of money in the Ants Underground Kingdom, like hundreds of other people are doing so. Check out the video that's linked to the description of this video, or click the button that's going to appear at the top of the screen that'll take you to the video, and you can get between 10 to 35% cash back on every single purchase. Imagine the amount of money you can save, and imagine how far you can get faster than others. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.